Jets on three. 1, 2, 3.
Jets. Green gonna win, that's all I'm saying.
Let's go to work. Let's go to work. Let's go to work.
What happened? We taking this. Win on three. 1, 2, 3. Win.
Welcome to Pregame Central, presented by Pepsi. I'm Eric Allen, running the single wing inside our BetMGM studio. There are the New York Jets entering SoFi Stadium. They are back in California for a second time this season in Inglewood, California. Welcome to the show. Let's bring in both Anthony Beck and Eric Coleman. Eric, this is a tough spot for the New York Jets. Even if things were going well, considering second consecutive trip out to the West Coast and third trip to the West Coast in the last month.
Yeah, it's been a lot of travel time for the Jets, having to fly across the country quite a few times. But, I used to like going back to the West Coast. You get some more time to sleep. The weather's always nice this time of year. And, I think it's a great opportunity for the Jets to go out there and face a good team and see what they have. It's this Rams team is, listen, they have one of the best defensive lines in the NFL. They have a great secondary. But if you're trying to get better, you want to play the best. And this is a great opportunity for them today.
Anthony, if the Jets lose, they're 0-13 entering Week 15, Game 14, they would clinch a top 2 pick. I know the Jets fan base is very interested in what's going to happen in April, but let's talk about today. This is a monstrous assignment for a Jets offense that was limited to 3 points in Seattle last week, because I think, for my money, this Rams defense is the best in football.
Well, statistically speaking, they are. I mean, they've done a fantastic job. It starts with their interior defensive line. We all know about Aaron Donald, how much of a force he is. He leads the NFL in sacks, I believe, with 12 and a half sacks. But Michael Brockers is a problem. I mean, he's another guy that has to be blocked. If you think for 2 seconds that you're going to just double up Aaron Donald and just leave Brockers one-on-one, then you're seriously mistaken. He's been really an impact defensive lineman and player for them across the board. They have really talented secondary players led by Jalen Ramsey. And, from front to back, they are loaded with a lot of speed, a lot of pass rush, and a lot of aggressive play in the secondary. Every week has posed a challenge, whether it's going out west again, the mental hurdles that's natural for teams that have not won football games to get themselves mentally ready week in and week out. And then put on top of that playing a team that quite arguably could be the best team in the NFC at this point in the season. It's more than a challenge. This is going to be a huge upheaval for this football team today.
So we are looking live at Aaron Donald at SoFi Stadium. Anthony, this is just a tough break for Sam Darnold. He grew up about an hour south of Inglewood, California, so he had circled this one on the calendar because he was finally going to be able to go back to Southern California and play in front of his fans and friends. But unfortunately, everybody's dealing with COVID right now, so nobody in the stadium. And Donald is a guy who can wreak havoc. What does he have to do with the offensive line against that devastating front?
Well, unfortunately, you're going to have some one-on-one opportunities up front that you're going to have to block Aaron Donald with. You just got to fight and go at him. And it's not just pass protection. It's also run game, double teaming him, finishing blocks against him, wearing him down when not necessarily in a pass rush mode. You got to take those blows. If you're pass setting and you're a guard and the center has him one-on-one and you don't have a guy on, you have a chance to hit him or rib shot him, do that. Or vice versa. If he's over the guard and the center's clean and he come over and give him a rib shot, you got to do that as well. So every play you have to systematically, or whatever you want to call it, go at this football player and pound him, and wear him down. And you know what? Sometimes that doesn't even work because he's going to keep bringing it every single snap. But again, there are ways to shut him down. You just have to be ready for an all-day fight. It's a 15-round fight for the guards and centers today, and they have to be prepared for that.
All right, so good point there. It is going to be a long fight for the guards and centers, and they will move Aaron Donald around. Sam Darnold, good news for you, though. Denzel Mims back in the lineup for the green and white today. So You're definitely going to need that against Rams secondary featuring one of the better cornerbacks in the National Football League in Jalen Ramsey. Let's go to the other side of the ball. Banged up defense for the New York Jets, who had their troubles last week against Seattle, not only against Russell Wilson at 4 touchdown passes, but stopping the run. The Seahawks had more than 170 yards rushing, and the Rams are now getting more production out of Cam Akers, who really tore up the Patriots on the ground the previous week with 171 yards rushing. This Jets team, no Jordan Jenkins for the remainder of the season. He's on injury reserve with a shoulder issue. And also a big run plugger out of the lineup today in Lorenzo Fatukasi due to contact tracing.
Yeah, you know, this stopping the run is going to be the priority. It's going to have to be the priority for the Jets if they plan on having a successful day out in Los Angeles. Cam Akers has been doing a great job running the football, and that's really where this offense starts. They need to run the football consistently to work the play action, to get Jared Goff outside of the pocket, to run misdirections. That all starts with the run game. So if the Jets, you know, with the injury-plagued defense that they have, are able to stand tough and stop that run, and make Jared Goff one-dimensional. Listen, he's a great quarterback. He has a cannon of an arm. He can make every throw, as they say. But if you make him one-dimensional, you give yourself an opportunity. You give yourself a chance to make some plays in the secondary. He may give you, some chances on some tip balls to create some turnovers. But it all stops with stopping the run. You know, when teams are able to run the ball consistently down your defense, it really demoralizes you as a defense. So, listen, they have to do whatever they can to stop this run. Bless Austin is going to be fine outside. I think he has a great matchup with Robert Woods. Cooper Kupp is going to be in the slot. These are 2 fantastic receivers. But if they can stop that run, it gives Marcus May an opportunity to roam in the back end and create some turnovers like he's so good at doing. Today's
kickoff between the Jets and the Rams is 4:05 Eastern. And for more on today's game, here is our latest installment from the broadcast booth. Is our own Olivia Landis caught up with Jets radio color commentator Marty Lyons.
Marty, the Jets travel all the way back out to the West Coast this week. Back-to-back weeks on the West Coast. This time they're taking on the Los Angeles Rams. From a player's perspective, what are some of the challenges of having to take back-to-back trips all the way across the country?
Well, I think, first of all, you got to get used to it, and you got to realize that it's not an excuse for your performance. Last week against the Seattle Seahawks, they just didn't play well after the opening drive. You end up losing 40-3, come all the way back to the East Coast, try to regroup, try to get yourself ready. And now you're going out and playing a team that's 9-4 that are in the hunt. And the only thing that you can really hope for is that they're looking past you to play the Seattle Seahawks next week for that NFC West title.
Marty, this Rams team has a lot of offensive weapons, especially on the rushing side of the ball. The Rams currently rank 8th on offense in rushing yards per game. And then on the defensive side of the ball, the Jets rank 12th in rushing yards allowed per game. So we're going to see a bit of a matchup there. What other parts of that Rams offense do you expect to give the Jets maybe a little bit of trouble?
Well, you look at the 3 key positions. They got 2 running backs. They got a young one in Akers that can just run the rock. You got a guy in the slot in Cooper Kupp. He's going to find a way to get open. You got a tight end in Higsby. He can make plays. And then on the wide receiver side, you got Robert Woods. So you have a key player in every position to move the ball down the field. And they're going to try to light up the Jets.
Marty, the Rams also have the #1 ranked overall defense in the league. What is quarterback Sam Darnold and this offense going to have to get done to find some success against the Rams?
Well, number one, you got to identify where 99 is. When Aaron Donald he's going to switch positions. You got to find out where he is, and you got to double team him. You got to put big bodies on him and constantly keep him on the line of scrimmage. You can't allow him to disrupt the plays. And number two, you just got to go out there and play with an attitude. You got to go out there and feel good about who you are. Forget the records. You got 3 games left. You want to win a game. You've been playing hard. Give it a little bit more extra effort and try to come away with a victory. Don't go out there thinking, hey, we're 0-13, soon to be 0-14. Otherwise, you're already defeated.
Thank you so much for your time, Marty. I appreciate it.
You got it, Liv. Stay well.
You are watching Pregame Central, presented by Pepsi. Eric Allen inside the BetMGM studio, joined as always by Eric Coleman and Anthony Beck. Let's get to our monster matchups, and we'll start with Eric. Eric, I do have a bone to pick with you, though. You did say that you love going back to the West Coast. Where were you raised?
Well, I was born in Sacramento, raised in Washington State. So it was always nice to go back there. My father, my family would go to the games, have a big crowd out there. So, I always played well there, too.
Of course you did. Okay, who's your monster matchup today?
My monster matchup today is Brashad Perriman and Denzel Mims versus Jalen Ramsey and Darius Williams. These are two fantastic corners. Jalen Ramsey is arguably the best corner in the game right now. So this is going to be a big challenge for Brashad and Denzel. They're going to have to do whatever they can. They're going to have to fight, scrap, to get open, to create some big plays for this offense because they are much needed, and them stepping up is going to be an integral part in the Jets' success today.
Before we get over to Anthony, no surprise here because I think people look at Jalen Ramsey's statistics and say, well, what has he really done this season? He reminds me of Darrelle Revis because people aren't throwing the football at him. And then you see Darius Williams come up with the interceptions and the PDs himself.
Absolutely. I mean, teams are just going in the other direction. So, you're not going to see the pass breakups, the interceptions, because quarterbacks are smarter than that. To throw in his direction, you're gambling. And it's a gamble that a lot of quarterbacks have lost this year because he's playing at such a high level. But at some point, you have to test him out. You have to give your receivers that opportunity to go up against a big dog and see if they can come up with a play.
All right. Speaking of big dogs, let's go to Anthony. Where are you going as far as your monster matchup?
Yeah, I'm going in the interior. I mean, listen, we talked about Donald and Brockers. I mean, and these two guys are very good. Brockers coming off a 2-sack performance, and Connor McGovern and company on the outside of his shoulders are going to be, an all-day fight, just like Marty Lyons was talking about. I mean, this is truly a matchup you pay offensive linemen heftily for to prepare and go out to fight for. And this is kind of where you can put something on film and really show a matchup. And this is a monster. This is the true monster matchup of the game when you're talking about the terms of the word, because, these guys can go at you all day. I've seen Aaron Donald go with no statistics at all and wreck a game, which is unbelievable, right? So these three players, all the offensive linemen, because be honest with you, they twist, loop. Donald lines up to the outside sometimes as well. They'll all be on call, but you cannot over protect Donald, because that's when guys like Brockers and Floyd and some of these other players get into the mix, and that's where they become dangerous defensively.
All right, before we get to my monster matchup, I want to follow up quickly on Donald. And Leonard Floyd is bringing the heat off the edge, too. He's got 7.5 sacks. These guys are benefiting from all their one-on-one matchups because you got to double him so frequently. Otherwise, he's just going to win. With that being said, do you anticipate Donald at all seeing Mekhi Becton? I mean, you don't keep Aaron Donald away from anybody because you're not intimidated by that, but you do most likely probably like him on the interior offensive lineman.
Yeah, I would think Floyd would be a guy that you would try to go against Becton. Someone's a little bit faster, someone that's got a little more speed moves. Floyd doesn't want to get into the bull rush moves and into the body of a tackle. He really wants to pick an edge, go inside, spin, loop around, whatever that may take. So I think you're going to get a little more game in some of those situations on Becton's side, because one-on-one, Becton gets his hands on you. It's pretty much lights out for that defender. So you've got to be able to do some movement things and keep him on his toes a little bit so that he's leaning forward with his weight. Other than that, he's pretty much been in control the entire season. I don't foresee Darnold going out to that side. If anything, I'd see him bouncing out the fan, or if that's a possibility within the structure of the defense.
Okay, Sam Ficken activated for today's matchup. Remember, Sergio Castillo missed 3 of 4 field goal attempts last week. I'm going to go to the other side of the ball, fellas, and say Cam Akers, who rushed for 171 yards against the Patriots, against the Jets' rush defense, featuring Quinnen Williams and Neville Hewitt. Neville Hewitt has more tackles by an undrafted free agent than anybody in the National Football League. And while Donald is rightfully so getting the headlines this week because he's such a dominant player, Quentin Williams is having a hell of a year. 6 sacks, 9 tackles for loss, and 13 quarterback hits. He not only gets to the quarterback, but he's very good against the run. Let's bring in Ethan Greenberg right now out of his palatial estate. He is in studio today.
That's right. I'm back in the BetMGM studio for another edition of All In or Not today. Anthony Becht, as always, you're batting leadoff. So last week, the Jets let up over 150 rushing yards. The Los Angeles Rams had a huge rushing game. The Jets without Foley Fatukasi this afternoon. So all in or not today, this Jets defense will refine their ways and hold the Rams to under 100 rushing yards.
Yeah, I'm going to have to say not. You know, everybody's kind of thinking that Akers is the guy because he had a monster game last week. It was just his turn. You know, Malcolm Brown's been one of the toughest backs to tackle in the NFL. He's hard to bring down. Yards after contact are big with him. And, of course, you also have Darrell Henderson who can break a long one at any point. So, collectively, I'm not quite sure the Jets are going to be able to hold down this rush offense to under 100 yards because everybody thinks Goff and company is a passing offense. They really, truly do want to feed off the run game, and they'll try to establish that early in the game. So, I am not all in on that one.
Okay, and, of course, you got to be watchful of the jet sweeps to somebody like Robert Woods, as we've talked about earlier. Eric Coleman, the Jets have scored on their opening possession in each of the last 7 games. Will they continue the franchise mark and make it 8 for 8, all in or not today?
As much as I hate to say it, not today. You know, I think the speed of Aaron Donald and that defensive line are going to cause a lot of problems for the Jets offensive line today. You know, along with Jalen Ramsey on the back end, all the skill players that they have. I think it's going to be a tough matchup on that first drive. I'm going to say not today. All
right. This is the first time in a long time that we've had 2 not today. So, EA, you're either making it 3 for 3 or you're standing solo as the only person to go all in. And with that being said, Denzel Mims back in the lineup. In each game he's played in, he's had at least 40 receiving yards. So, EA, will he make it 7 for 7, Denzel Mims, all in or not today?
I'm going to EA Island. All in, yes. A 7th consecutive game for the rookie wide receiver out of Baylor. I've been most impressed with him throughout the start of his NFL career. And I know the matchup's going to be tough, but he'll get to 40 again.
Okay, I like it. Last time he only got 40 on the button. So maybe he'll do that, hopefully more. BetMGM, the official gaming partner of the New York Jets, is bringing fans a free New York Jets weekly pick'em contest. To enter, just sign up and make predictions on how this week's game will play out. Download the Jets app today for a chance to win an MGM Resorts trip package and free bets at BetMGM Sports. You can play for free every week. You must be 21 years or older. Restrictions do apply. Visit BetMGM.com for a full list of terms and conditions. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Okay, fearless prediction time. I'll kick things off. Then we'll hear from Anthony, EC, and then EA. You know, I didn't really know where I wanted to go with this, and since this matchup is so heavily focused on the interior, mostly talking about Aaron Donald, I figured might as well go with somebody that the Jets have on the interior in Quentin Williams. Let's go Big Q with 2 sacks today, Anthony.
It's his birthday, right? So I would think that something special is going to happen for him today. I like that. Listen, the only way the Jets are going to win this game is if the quarterback has a big game. So I'm just going to go all in with Darnold, 2 touchdowns passing and also 1 rushing with his legs. That's the kind of performance, unfortunately, it's going to take for the Jets to win this football game. So big day for Darnold may mean a big day for the Jets.
Anthony, I agree with you on that. If the Jets are going to win, they're going to need a big game out of Sam Darnold. And unfortunately, on the outside, the Rams have the advantage. So I'm going to go inside to Chris Herndon, and I'm going to go out and say that he's going to have a touchdown today and over 60 yards receiving.
Wow, everybody's laying it out there. Okay, I'm going to say, and I'm going to go against Eric Coleman here by saying the Jets will score on their 8th consecutive opening possession, extending their franchise record. It's an NFL high this season, and they'll do it with a 50-plus yard field goal from Sam Ficken in his return to the lineup. I know you want to end drives with touchdowns, fellas, but sometimes you'll take the points any way you can get them. For the Jets offensively, we know it. The bottom line is it hasn't been the starts for them lately. It is how they adjust, and how are they going to adjust today against an elite defense. And the Rams need this game, don't they, Anthony? Final thoughts here.
Yeah, there's no doubt. They're going to be firing at all cylinders. Jets have to hang in for the emotions of the first quarter of this game. Scripted plays by McVay. He'll come out and throw all his best offense at him early in this game. For the Jets offense, I got to see a lot of screens. Running back screens, open up the book. Receiver screens, get the ball out of Sam's hand. Don't let the pressure be a problem and get him mentally out of this football game. That's going to be key early on for the Jets.
How about you, Eric?
My key for the Jets, listen, it's about the New York Jets. Forget about the opponent. Forget about who you're playing against. If you go out there and handle your business, convert first downs, convert third downs, keep drives going, put the ball into the end zone once you get into the red zone, don't allow big plays on defense, then everything will take care of itself. The Jets cannot worry about all the stars on the other team. They need to worry about the guys in their huddle and everyone taking their part and doing their responsibility.
Okay, outstanding job from Ethan Greenberg, of course, as always, with All In or Not Today and Fearless Predictions. Eric Coleman, Anthony Beck, we will see you fellas later for Jets Overtime, presented by Duncan. Folks, we appreciate you all staying with us throughout the season. It's been tough on the scoreboard for the Jets, but you continue to come back. And let's look at today's game day inactives here. Vincent Smith, the wide receiver, inactive for the New York Jets. Cameron Clark, the rookie offensive lineman as well. Also another rookie, Lawrence Cager, undrafted free agent out of Georgia. But it's game 14, the New York Jets against a desperate LA Rams team. They're going to be needing this victory. They're in a tight race in the NFC West with the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks right now have a lead over the Washington Redskins. Jets are going to have to play their best ball to be in this game in the second half. That's the honest assessment from here inside the BetMGM studio. We will see you, as always, later for Jets Overtime.